Good morning, everyone. So, what I think I'm going to do from now on is upload raw fight footage and then do the commentary separately afterwards. The reason for that is that I'm using Screencastify on a very old Chromebook, and I have trouble recording both audio and video at the same time. I just don't have very much RAM on this machine. So instead, if I just record the video, I get less of a slideshow. So we'll do that. And then afterwards, I'll just look at it in YouTube, which also allows me to use the Screencastify pen tool. So now I can draw on things. I can do X's and O's. I can point to things. It's fantastic. It's like I have something that they'd have for a sports team or something. As dumb as that is, we can pretend to be esports professionals, I guess, in a pay to win B-list Chinese gotcha game. Anyways, so let's take a look at this real quick. So I'm running basically a basic crit focus DPS line. You got Dreyfus, A-Zhao, Wassily. I'm running Dreyfus in the back as a DPS with 6 set Abyss, so kind of a DPS healer. But that synergizes really nicely with Samuel, because I have to run Samuel. And then for my tank, I'm running Vidar and I'm running Raphael. Raphael, I believe here, yeah. So here I'm running Ocean Core on him, so you can tell by that little Tenacity buff. And Vidar, I'm running 6 set Limbo, so you can tell that by the damage immunity and the dodge buff. So I'm running him Exhaust, so you can see by the Exhaust debuff that I'm running him Exhaust. And that's okay. This guy's not running Wassily, so I don't need to worry about that. So he doesn't need the extra tenacity, he doesn't need the damage immunity, he needs the exhaust buff to handle the opponent. Why? Because the opponent is running a dodge Raphael. Why is he not running 6 set Limbo? I have no idea, but he's running dodge. So that exhaust is to directly counter that. Beyond that, if we go here, let's see. So I have to run Raphael and Samuel. So his choice of Phoebe, uh, I'm not sure why he chose Phoebe here. It looks like he's running Twilight on him, so maybe he's trying to get some early stuns. He's not getting very many because I have Samuel. But he might be using him, Phoebe, to pop prayers and to also get some stuns out. It's not going to do much to me because I don't really rely on prayer. Because all my heroes have some form of healing or self-healing. So that's not a big deal to me. Kratos, it looks like he's doing the same sort of thing. It looks like for him, if you look at his DPS line, he's running Kratos, Harp, and Paul. It looks like maybe he's using Kratos and to a lesser extent Harp to sort of AoE take down most of my team so that he can set up picks for Paul. Just so that he can confuse the prayer and so that Paul has a higher chance of taking someone out. Again, it's not going to work on my team, but it's not a bad idea. So let's see. So he's running Raphael, he's running Samuel, he's running the normals. He's running 1, 2, 3 DPS and a DPS support. Very good. So this is a pretty good setup. And if we look at the hails, let's see. So he's running Ice Lotus 4. No idea what he's running there. No idea what he's running there. Maybe Coral for some reason. I'm not sure. And then he's probably running Coral on him. So pretty basic, pretty normal. Let's just take a quick little look at what's going to happen here. So let me just go back to round 1. So as you can see, so something to notice, the HP bars aren't moving. That's because of the different HP buffs that Abyss grants and the Boats grant. They add HP, but they don't update the HP bars. So you get weird sort of things like that. Phoebe, by round 2, you see has 40,000 orbs. That's because the extra healing from Boat and the extra healing from the Abyss 2 set will fill up her HP bar, act as a heal, and give her an energy orb. And then Raphael will give her energy orbs through his skill. So she can start off pretty easily at about 3 energy orbs. So that's pretty awesome. Kratos gets energy pretty easy too, but that's not really a concern here. So just by round 2, you see this damage immunity. So let me just change to the pen real quick. So let me just back up a little. So you can see right here this damage immunity. This is why I usually suggest Limbo 6 on the position 1 hero. All those normal attacks will stack up that damage immunity like crazy, which prepares him for some of the bigger heroes' big attacks. So generally, Wassyly's fast, but he's not that fast. So Wassily and such are usually more of a concern. By stacking up that damage immunity, by taking the normal attacks from some of the faster heroes, you can usually weather that a bit better. But again, it's going to depend on how they do their speed, and it's going to depend on what heroes they're running. It's kind of a niche sort of technique, but in general, I think it's better to put the 6 set on the position 1 purely because he's going to be hit more often. Ocean Core, I usually like more on the position 2 or in the back. However, for the position 2, you see that there's a tenacity debuff. Samuel is going to do that to the front line all day. So generally, for that, yeah, it's a little easier to see. So generally for that, I would say that running a lot of tenacity and Ocean Core with tenacity on your front line is usually kind of a lost cause, just purely because Samuel's run everywhere, but also because it's better against big hits, and the front line is going to get a lot of small hits. Maybe not position 2, but definitely position 1. So that's just my thoughts on that. Beyond that, so as we can see here, he's only got one person dotting. Pole looks like he's set up to do the big shots. So the dots are basically a non-issue because Raphael are going to clear them. The stuns are a non-issue because Samuel's going to clear them. There's some thought behind this and there's some synergy, but there's not that much. If you're going to go dots, you want to spread a lot of dots, because then it's harder for Raphael to clear them all up. If you're going to go stuns, you don't go stuns because Samuel makes that basically a non-build right now. A non-issue. Beyond that, he's running Raphael in the front, and he's running him with dodge, so that stops a lot of people. However, I'm running exhaust to counter. I'm also not running a lot of dodge. He's running Ice Lotus on Kratos, and that's not going to do anything to me either. Kratos has some damage, deep wounds that he's going to put on everyone, but I'm running so much self-healing that the deep wounds basically doesn't affect me. I basically have zero fear of this opponent because he's doing a lot of things, but he's not doing them well enough. Well, not well enough. He's not doing them to the extent that they would cause me issues. He's not putting a lot of dots out. He's putting some dots out. He's not putting a lot of deep wounds out. He's not putting like 100%, 200% deep wounds out. That's the nature of how this is. You kind of have to pick a couple things that you want to do really well and focus on them and expand as you can. So, for example, when Vidar came out, he added a dodge down, tenacity down that couldn't be cleansed. That made it so I didn't have to run Ice Lotus on everyone. That made it so that I could run other things like more deep wounds or whatever. That is why I picked that hero, so that I could open up more options for myself. With Kratos' sub-weapon released, and Kratos is not in this fight right here, but Kratos, can add in Kratos, especially in PvP, with his sub-weapon. He adds, I believe, dodge and tenacity down. I think it's cleansable, but that's another dodge and tenacity down that can help you solve some of these issues with people stacking a lot of dodge or whatever without running Ice Lotus. Of course, most people aren't going to have Ice Lotus because that was a Christmas-only thing. So then if we get back to this, so that's enough waxing poetic there. So let's just watch this real fast. So if you look at the HP bars, which doesn't really mean anything because the HP bars are awful, they're not moving much, but he's hitting me, and my HP bars aren't really changing. Mostly because I'm healing it all back up. His are going down. This is my formation strategy. I'm just going to take the hits, I'm going to try to last through them, and I'm going to try to AoE your formation down. Again, that's usually not the best idea. So I caught this after someone died. But all these guys do 100% damage. So if I get them all low, I'm not actually stopping any damage coming into my formation. That's why a lot of people like to run assassin builds, because a dead DPS does 0 damage. So let's just continue. So this fight is basically over. His killer's doing nothing. I've just taken out 2 out of 3 of his DPS. This fight is over. The only thing that he can do at this point is last 30 rounds with Raphael dodging everything. But that's not going to happen because I have Vidar's exhaust. So this fight was over by like what, round 3? So anyways, that's how you counter build. That's how you look at what the opponent's doing. I think our power is about the same here. But that's the nature of how this goes. Did I win because I had Wassily and he had absolutely nothing to counter it? Probably. Wassily is a monster and you do want to counter him. But probably, I think I'm running a lot of accuracy here. His real solution in this case, if he doesn't want to swap out heroes, is he really has to run dodge on at least Raphael. More dodge. So if he's got more dodge stacked away, that will block Wassily from building up energy orbs until he uses his rage attack, and then he'll gain 1 or 2 energy orbs. He'll be at 1 or 2 thanks to Raphael, I believe. And then he'll gain another one off critting on Phoebe. So maybe Ocean Core on Phoebe instead of Twilight. Maybe Dodge on Phoebe. That will block Wassily and at least stop him until hopefully round 6, which gives you an opportunity to take out 1 or 2 of my heroes and then go from there. Wassily's hard to counter. Again, you need Song, you need Vidar, you need Dodge. Maybe Ocean Core, but again, Ocean Core is not going to help that much in the front because everyone runs Samuel. So I think that's about it. Let me just go back to the results screen real fast. I think that's about it. Kind of an interesting fight just purely because it's 2 ideas, one more fleshed out, one less fleshed out, fighting at the same power. Not as interesting because it's an absolute stomp. So anyways, I hope I said some interesting things. I hope all of that made sense, and I will see you some other day. Goodbye.